RL the Dawn, baby. From the house of L to the house of hoes, got a little mission for you, son. Listen close. Yo, Cal, you my legacy, my flesh, my clone. Now go to Earth and make that planet your home. But don't just save them, breed them, feel me? Flying smooth, make them cry, oh really? You got strength of 10 men, game like Zeus. Cape in the wind in the tight blue suit. Ain't no villain that could block your aim, so why not drop seeds and lock the game? Son, this biology ain't no fluke. You a walking god, now execute. Make super babies, fill the charts. I ain't die for you to chase no heart. Smash them all, Cal, plant that name. From farm girls to queens, it's all the same. Be the daddy of earth, the prime L spawn. Spread house of L till the break of dawn. Breed them up, Cal, breed them fast. Legacy's fire, gotta make it last. Don't fight fate, be the stud I plan. I'm watching from stars with the master hand. Lex got tech, Bruce got cash, but you got genes that'll outlive Flash. You ain't here just to punch and fly, you here to make them babies cry. He my guy. Tell Lois Lane she the first in line, but don't act shy when it's overtime. I built the fortress, now make it a crib for 20 little supers in a rocket ship fridge. You ain't just Cal, you the seed of fate. Gotta repopulate, dominate, create. Go on, my son, be the myth, the man. Smash them respectfully, that's the plan. Smash them all, Cal, plant that name. From farm girls to queens, it's all the same. Be the daddy of earth, the prime L spawn. Spread house of L till the break of dawn. Breed them up, Cal, breed them fast. Legacy's fire, gotta make it last. Don't fight fate, be the stud I plan. I'm watching from stars with the master hand. House of L, baby. From Krypton's ashes to Earth's backseat. Do it for your daddy in the multiverse, you heard?
And if you're wondering what the hell that had to do with Resident Evil, you're right, it had nothing to do with Resident Evil at all. That intro, in fact, was just from the ye olde annals of time. I made that a long time ago when Superman's daddy told him to breed the world in that really weird James Gunn movie. But now we're here to talk about Resident Evil. I know jack shit about this. So Jacob is apparently going to walk me through this like I'm a toddler. This is baby's first zombie adventure. Now, Jacob, I know that Leon Kennedy is a badass. And I know that he wears a leather jacket, and there's a man who is sometimes black named Wesker. That's about it.
Okay, first of all, we're going to take a few minutes of this show just to bully Cider's complete and utter lack of knowledge of Resident Evil, because this is only a franchise that's been around since, like 30 years now, that it's spread across multitudes of video game generations and consoles, and then this is something that is at, 9 mainstream direct link video games. It's not even counting some of the offshoots that we'll talk about here, and God knows how many terrible Mila Jovovich movies that we've seen over the course of, how long it's been, 25 years.
Yeah,
I believe the first one came out in 2001, so this would be 25 years of total Resident Evil movies. And they say we're not getting
majority of
one.
our lives.
Oh, then don't even get me started on that awful one that came out a couple of years ago, that Return to Raccoon City. We'll bring that up here in the course of that is even worse than the Mila Jovovich movies. That's how bad that one is here, right? But apparently there's another one. We're now at Resident Evil 9, and I gotta be honest, I don't really remember much from the last two. The last two kind of feel like a blur in the aims of history, right? Because you go a little bit back here to, I guess, when the game started getting really popular again. That was with Resident Evil 4. Now, apparently, you know a little bit about Resident Evil 4, because that was when everyone was like, "Oh yeah, we're all in this RE4 kick." That was what brought back the quick time events that we have still been tortured with, to this very day. It's like, if you don't press circle in enough time, your character dies, and you have to start all over again. And then next thing you know, everyone in the entire industry started to rip that off to the point where it got absurdly annoying.
Heavy Rain was probably the absolute worst thing. You had to use a quick time event to get coffee. That was David Cage's first event tree game that made everything an event. So you had to use the quick time event to open the door. And basically what it was meant to do was try and create a sense of urgency, but really all it did was piss you off. It's like, why am I button mashing to open a door, David Cage?
It was essentially the industry had collectively said it to ourselves. It was like, let's see if the gamers actually paying attention. Let's see how much, that, oh, here's press X now. Oh, you didn't press X in time, you're dead.
Right.
Back 3 levels behind what you hear now. So, I don't know, it feels weird with these last, I guess, 3 series. Let's kind of explain how we got here. Resident Evil 4 was a massive success at the PS2 era. Everyone bought into it. Kind of redefined. Yeah, you're one of those guys. So it kind of redefined that horror genre for the most part. Then you got RE5, and that was the one where Chris Redfield teamed up with a black woman and started beating up a bunch of Somalis in Africa. And that was actually a pretty good game,
the
too.
forbidden Resident Evil.
Exactly, and then like years later, people were like, "Oh, we can't talk about this game anymore because most of the bad guys are black people. We can't have that."
Because black people never make bad decisions, of course, and they're not capable of being villains ever.
Especially the ones in Africa. They're just the outstanding citizens.
I mean, when I Show Speed went over there, that was like one of those RE5 moments where I was like, any minute now. Mm-hmm. Any minute now, one of them's gonna leap out and try to eat his face. And then one did.
So then you had the very controversial for other reasons RE6. And RE6 was essentially the game where they was like, okay, let's do this. Let's take Leon style of gameplay, Chris style of gameplay, and Baby Wesker style of gameplay, and put them together into one congruent video game. And essentially, Leon's story felt more like classic Resident Evil. Chris's story felt like more like Gears of War and Call of Duty than Resident Evil. And then you had Baby Wesker, which didn't really get over with the fan base. And people absolutely hated that one. Now, I think that game got a little bit too much heat. If we're going back on it, because it wasn't like it was absolutely terrible. It's just that most people were complaining that, well, this isn't truly Resident Evil. It doesn't feel like a Resident Evil game, right? It feels something more in between. So then we kind of had a course correct of like, okay, we're going to go back to just pure scary horror movies, right? I mean, horror games, right? Now, again, I'm not even counting all of the remakes and reboots and the remasters that have come out over the last several years, because let's be honest, those aren't real video games. They're just basically updating the same video game we've already played for HD. But those have kind of taken it back to its RE roots now, where the monsters are a little bit more domesticated and sophisticated, and I guess that's the best way to kind of describe it there.
Yeah.
And then the only thing that I remember from the last game is that everyone was marking out over the 10-foot lady with the huge cans, and then now it turned out to be the only thing about the this is not the game anyone remembers.
So, marking out for the 10-foot lady with the huge cans. Okay, so I don't think there's a better reason to mark out. Like, if you watch that, there's mods of her in her underwear, by the way. And I don't know why I know that, by the way. It's just something I found on X.
It's something that somebody else told me. I definitely didn't find that out on my own.
I heard it at the water cooler. But the problem is she's made out of bugs. And like, they knew that. They knew what they were doing to you throughout the whole game. You're like, you know what? Maybe she's not that evil. Maybe she just needs some hugs. Maybe she just needs some hugs. Doesn't look like her mom hugged her very much. She's made out of bugs. Never mind.
Let's make everyone want to bang the 10-foot alien woman, and then all of a sudden she turns into a giant wasp monster somewhere. By the way, halfway during the game, if you guys actually played the game, she dies halfway during the game, which means that in the second half of the game, she's a non-factor of the entire story. Brilliant. Brilliant looking.
I mean, the problem is with Resident Evil is when they do stuff like that, it just sort of, it leaves a mark on you, It leaves a mark on you. We're like, I don't know if I can trust these guys not to, like, rug pull my boner again. I don't know if I want to do this, I don't know if I want to fight this fight. I don't know if I'm strong enough to fight this fight. But I don't know if you saw this or not. This was I Show Speed. He was getting this introduction here for the game. He had his playlist on, just playing in the background, and this lined up perfectly. I'm just going to walk it back a little bit here because it starts off a little loud. This is not on purpose. This was a random song selection. That lined up perfect.
Daddy! 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 Oh, that was fun! Daddy Leon!
So
That's pretty good.
Leon, in the context of this new video game, is supposed to be 50 years old.
He does not look like it.
No, he
He
looks
might
like
be
he's
pushing 30.
He looks like Tom Brady if Tom Brady had a slight alcohol problem. That's essentially what he looks like in this video game.
Yeah.
And
Like
then
peak Brady, though. Like sixth ring Brady. Not like
yeah,
now Brady.
exactly. It was like Tampa Bay Brady.
There you go. Tampa Bay Brady. Yeah.
So then you have this woman who I'm assuming is our new protagonist in this game, and it's going to be very, very difficult for a lot of people not to call her New Ashley. Because, I mean, let's be honest here.
Sure.
Especially when you hit like Leon back in this game here too. So it's like it's weird because it feels like that this was in some kind of way supposed to be at least a slight passing of the torch. It's not like a complete hand off the baton, because you're still bringing back like the old school character that everyone knows and all that good stuff here. But it kind of feels like that's what they were setting up here with this one.
Well, and the other thing is that they're trying to branch out. Was Resident Evil F? Was it? Was that the one with the crazy, scary Japanese lady?
I'm trying to remember because there's a couple of them that I'm thinking of.
No, it just came out like last year. It's like Japanese
last year?
lady. Yeah.
Was that the show or the game? I'm trying to remember exactly.
It was the game.
Yeah, like I said, there's so many offshoots and off-brands. It's like,
Silent Hill. Sorry, it was Silent Hill F. My bad. My bad. I apologize. I get my spooky medical science horror games mixed up.
I mean, I was going to bring up Resident Evil Outbreak here in a second, which is like a series that I'm pretty sure mostly no one actually remembers, but we'll get to that one here shortly too. But yeah, so this game is officially come out. People are playing it. I've heard mostly positive things about it for the most part. I haven't heard anyone say, oh, this game is utter shite or anything like along those lines. But the assumption here is supposed to be that, hey, we're going back
hold on. There was one guy. There was one guy who hated it. Darkside Phil. Couldn't figure out how to play the game.
Is he still a thing?
Yeah, he's the roach. He's the stream roach. He's not going anywhere. He'll be around long after, the heat death of the universe. He'll still be complaining.
I guess if you just never go away, then you can always just stay around top. Like,
yeah, they can't cancel. They can't cancel you, right?
No, because everything that he's done everything worthy of being canceled you could possibly do, and he just refuses to go away. Like, I'm just gonna rock this one out and be known as that guy.
Yeah, and he is that guy for sure. Now that would be a fun character to have show up in this, but yeah, he's the only one who's expressed like, I don't like Resident Evil. It's too hard.
Yeah,
I think it was the joke that there wasn't like yellow paint all over everything for him to find his way, so he was annoyed at that. And then there was a scene where he was in an elevator and he kept shooting the character even though he was supposed to walk away from the character. Like, the elevator door is literally right to his left, and he's like, oh no, I'm just going to unload my gun into this character coming through the elevator roof, and that's not how it works.
I feel like at least 40% of people only know Darkside Phil because it's a Gundam.
Yeah. Well, the snort rating system is accurate.
Yeah, that seems to be about a strong bet here. So the thing with the new Resident Evil games that seems to be like a little bit of I don't want to say an issue, or it seems to be something that they're working around, is that the old school Resident Evil games were known for kind of jump scares, terrible graphics, horrible controls that made it a little bit scarier because you could never fully control the character the way you wanted it to control it, and that was kind of like a nightmare in and of itself. But then when you look at these newer games, they're much sleeker, they're much nicer, everything's kind of updated for modern times, but their embrace of hyper-realism also kind of takes away from the horror factor of it, right? Because it's like, when was the last time a Resident Evil game truly felt scary? Like, it's easily classified in the horror genre. When was the last time it was really truly like a terrifying experience for anyone? And I don't know if they've actually found the way to encapsulate that in the recent Resident Evil games here, right? So they're showing you. Yeah, so they're showing you like characters and like things of that nature, but it seems like, and I don't want to just put it all on Resident Evil because that's kind of been a problem for the horror genre in general. Is that how do you actually build tension for that kind of satisfying conclusion of a scare, right? Everyone has tried seemingly you're going to say jump scares, loud noises, as that's been a big gimmick in a lot of movies. Some people just go straight to torture porn and gore, thinking that that's an equivalent to scare when it's really not. And then it's like, so it's very hard to sell. I'm going to say like Resident Evil as a franchise, but it's very hard for them to essentially capitalize on the capabilities that they have available to them in 2026 to make games like this and to have a great impact. Like I said, Resident Evil 4 took advantage of a lot of, I guess, new concepts that really did change gaming for that time period, and I don't think they've been able to utilize any kind of form of that since. It's like we've already kind of quote unquote reinvented the wheel. It's like, what do we do now to do the same thing 20 years later?
Well, you also have to remember is that this is the age of reboots and reimaginings and, you know, all of that. So it sort of follows along that line. But for me, this one definitely feels like they're trying to branch out into something closer to Detroit Become Human.
Yeah,
I felt this. I've only seen gameplay. I haven't played it myself. I've only seen people playing it. And from what I can tell is that it does seem to be really aiming to try and tell you a deeper story than what previous Resident Evils have tried. Not that they weren't deeper. Of course, we remember the one you were talking about there with Lady Dimitrescu and how Ethan Hawke was...
Is that her name?
Hawke. Yeah, Lady D. Dude, I'm into tall women. I would know her name, okay? That's my thing.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, any woman could be considered a tall woman in your...
I'm 5'7", dude, not 5'2", not 4'11".
Yeah, that
I'm
means
not as short as Terrorizer.
That means you're 5 inches taller than Kevin Hart. Just 5.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's important. I can reach the faucets. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's see Kevin Hart do that. But anyway,
I can reach the top shelf in Walmart.
In that story, Ethan lost his daughter, and
Yeah.
his daughter, like, he sacrificed himself to save her. Like, at the end of it is literally him, presumably dying, in order to take out the Dimitrescu family. So,
Yeah.
but that he's back again. So
Yeah. And then with this one, first of all, you can tell that this is a Japanese game because she actually looks like a woman and not like a morphling, which seems to be a trademark now in video games made in the 2010s era, where all of the women just look like abominable snow creatures.
Well, they have to, because the women developers on the team complain that the character's too sexualized and beautiful when she looks like that, because they are jealous that that character is prettier than them. I've told this story plenty of times, but I used to stream with a guy who told me dead on that his girlfriend got mad at him because he was watching an episode of Power Rangers RPM and commented that the Yellow Ranger was hot. Not that he wanted to leave that girl and go find the Yellow Ranger and marry her and make babies. Not anything that made her hotter than the girlfriend he was with, but because he said that out loud, their relationship spiraled into some psychodrama over the next few months over this woman completely turning herself inside out because she wasn't the Yellow Ranger.
Yeah, no, women have this issue of thinking that they're in competition with women that, one, they're in no way, shape, or form in competition with whatsoever, and two, even if they were, would have no shot of winning said competition to begin with. So this whole...
The Japanese just don't care. They're like, that's so very nice. We have a video game to make.
It's like all the women who started getting Brazilian butt lifts because in their mind, oh, now I have to compete with Kim Kardashian. It's like, no, you don't. Like,
we prefer that you didn't, because those things smell terrible. Don't do that.
From what I've heard, they're not great. It's a combination of kind of dead fat being injected into your butt, or the fact that maybe you just don't wipe as good as you think you do.
How can you? You need like one of those arms to get in there, man. You're like
quite
putting your whole hand between the cheek to reach in. Jeez.
You quite literally need a rag on a stick if you're going to.
Yeah, they made that. Remember that rag on a stick toy? Not toy, but it was the bathroom assistant. Like JonTron bought it. And he was experimenting with it. He was like, I have no idea how a human being would use this. It was like that those Chinese joke memes about the brutal machines. The design is very human.
Yeah. So the other thing that I've heard about this game, it's like, how do you top, basically 10-foot giant can lady? Like, how do you possibly top that? And apparently now people are simping for a singing zombie. Have you heard about this whole thing?
No, I have not.
Too? Yeah, so I sent you a link there. You can pop up here just real quick. But yeah, I know we almost forgot that we had a little chat behind the scenes there. But yeah, so this is, I guess, their attempt of being like, hey, Gooners, we got something for you here too.
Hair looks like Harley.
Yeah. You know what I would do to this woman?
Well, it looks like she's already been thrown down a flight of stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're gonna do?
Yeah, I was just gonna say give her the attitude adjustment. A memory of the career of John Cena that ended in terrible fashion a couple months ago.
Right. Put her in a headlock. She smiles through.
Taps out slowly.
I'm surprised you didn't stand up with Gunther hanging off of him. Where he was just saying, "Am I done? Can I go now?" He just walked out with Gunther wrapped around his neck.
And then for no reason whatsoever, Triple H just comes into the shot and makes it all about himself.
He's like doing, "Are you not entertained?"
I personally think we did a good job with that one.
This is no comparison to Lady D.
No.
Resident Evil 8. That was, in fact, the most previous Resident Evil.
To be fair, that whole thing was quite hilarious in the grand scheme of things, because essentially what happened is that, they crafted that character thinking that, we're going to really get one over with, the lesbian portion of our fan base. And then they very quickly realized that, no, the men are the ones that are actually really into this one for reasons I can't figure out, and we'll probably never know.
Nobody's been able to figure it out.
No one's been able to figure it out. And then all of a sudden they started getting really angry about the whole thing. Like I said, now all of a sudden they're in the competition with a fictional bug lady who dies halfway during our video game. Which, like I said, it does get to a point where when she does die, you're like, so you just expect me to keep playing this for another 3 hours now?
Yeah, right. Like, what am I doing now? The whole reason I had any interest in this game just died.
Like, wait, she's not even the main villain? Like, there's some other jabroni that I'm supposed to care about?
a big angry Rose.
Yeah.
Oh, no. And that was the other thing, is that maybe they did realize that, halfway through the game, and they're like, crap, they're gonna goon to this. We better kill her. Let's turn her into the most grotesque monster we can. Let's turn her into a giant flying wasp creature that you just basically thrash into the earth.
And it's not even that. It's the fact that, like I said, she's basically a mid-card jobber in the video game. It's like, you got to be at least co-main event if you're going to keep up. Because if you basically you become, to make another wrestling reference that only a few people are actually going to understand, after Hogan and Rock, no one's going to stay for Triple H and Jericho. And we found that out the hard way a long time ago. And it's apparently the video game developers of Resident Evil did not find that out, at least found out the hard way. That's like, that's not going to work there. Buddy, bucko.
Now, this is just one of those things, right, where we get a little distracted for a minute here because, pretty lady.
Oh, Tumblr. Be careful here with this one.
It's the new Tumblr, so it's safe. Okay. I mean, don't you? I mean, I don't know, man. When I looked at this, I was like, I want my wife to be able to pick up furniture and throw it across the room like that. But yeah, look at the keister on her, right?
Well, I mean, she's.
And they were like, "We got to kill this character, man."
Mm-hmm. Men just show up to her house to get kidnapped.
Lady Demestro, I'm here. What are you here for? To get kidnapped. What else?
I'm here and I'm alone and vulnerable. I hope no one does something bad to me. Oh boy, here we go.
Hold on.
Here we go.
Hold on. It's the meme. It's my favorite meme to bring up in these situations.
Oh god.
Jesus, I see what you've done for other people, and I want that for me.
Oh man.
Please let the giant bug lady hug me inappropriately.
Inappropriately. Yeah, and then, like I said, once people started doing their own mods, it was basically all game over.
Yeah, we can't show any of those, gentlemen, because they did not mod Lady Dimitrescu into more clothing, by the way. They did not,
Yeah, no, that did
didn't
not
do
happen.
that. It angers the woke. It means it's good. Yeah, well, you know, Lady Dimitrescu they thought they owned her until the modders got a hold of her, and then they don't talk about her anymore. You don't see any more woke fan art of Lady Dimitrescu anymore. You don't see any more like pro-trans, pro-lesbian, pro-LGBT of Lady Dimitrescu because she's an 8-foot tall burlesque model in every single mod they make of her.
And then remember, for like a short while, they trotted out the actual voice actor to kind of like kill the motif and be like, "This is what she really looks like," and everyone's like, "Yeah, I don't care."
That's great.
It's like, I don't care.
Kind of like the Halo guy came out and said, "Hey, don't put my voice in war porn." Everyone's like, "Who? Who are you?"
I love
I'm
that
the
trend,
voice of
by the
Master
way.
Chief. Nobody cares.
Like, can you please stop using my movie and memes? It's like, no, we don't have to.
Sorry, Ben.
So I'm sorry. The memes will continue.
The jokes in that you can't even make anymore, Ben. We're doing you a favor.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you mean that movie that everyone's been trying to cancel since you made it? Like every 2 months, the people question. He's like, "So you're going to apologize for it yet?"
That movie that Robert Downey Jr. isn't quite sure that he really wanted to make, but made anyway, and now he's stuck with it forever.
The one when he made where his career wasn't in such a great position in the beginning.
Well, I want to know. I want to know what the conversation was when they were like, "Yeah, Robert Downey Jr., we're gonna have you play a black guy, and not just a black guy, but a rootin' tootin' '70s blaxploitation black guy that talks smack." Yep. He was like, "I'm doing it." You know, I can't
like, we want you to be anywhere between Cleopatra Jones and Dolomite.
If you could act like Black Dynamite but not rip that off exactly, that would be great.
Yep.
But, the fly swatter! Here it comes. Here it comes. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. He did it!
Wait long.
Now, with all due respect, what else were you going to do with a fly swatter in this video game? Right? It's like, what other purpose does a fly swatter serve?
They knew what they were doing. She can't fit through the...
There you are.
Yes! And you can't fit through a doorway. Look at that.
See, there you are.
This is a sexual harassment simulator.
This is HR meaning the game. Yeah.
One of my favorite parts about that character is that it literally won't die.
No.
They can't kill this character despite killing it in the game. They can't kill Lady Dimitrescu because, again, like, she just became, like, if they would be smart to bring her back, but the problem is if they brought her back, she'd be looking like this. She'd be all zombified with a face cut up and a boob missing and all that stuff. Because they're like, no way we're bringing back the hot version. Weird reason. Yeah, like she cut her own boobs off or something.
Yeah, so she has like the orange is the new black haircut.
Yeah, right, the lesbian haircut, and she says y'all a lot. But that's even though she's white. And it's really weird.
Makes
but anyway,
random comments about the patriarchy for some weird reason.
Yeah, right, exactly. While she's wandering around. But there again, I mean, like, that would be the only way they'd bring her back now is if she was some demented, horrible monstrosity as opposed to some gorgeous 8-foot-tall vampire bug woman.
Yeah.
See, when I thought she was a vampire, I was like, I'm down. But then I found out she was a bug. I was like, I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that, man. You can't do that to me, Resident Evil.
Yeah, I don't think I'm supposed to stick my member in that thing. That's weird. Yeah, I think you might have.
You know who would, though, is Leon Kennedy. That man's adventurous.
Yeah, that man clearly does not care. He's dying anyway, obviously. I mean, like I said, in this game, he's infected, but he's not really infected, or like he's just not infected the same way as everyone else. It's like, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, what more can you really do with, you know, Leon Kennedy in this aspect? It's kind of the same problem that they come with Chris Redfield, right? And Chris, they tried something I guess somewhat different with the last game, but they kind of gave him a little bit of a villainous arc, even though in the context of, Chris's entire story from the first game all the way up to that point, it really doesn't make much sense to do so, because it's like, why would you turn the hero into the villain when he's literally the entire 20 years of his character arc is being against the very side that he's now on for some weird reason. So I don't think they thought that one very through. They was like, oh yeah, this will get over with the marks, and then that's essentially how it turned out. But I will say this here, just a quick pause on the video games. We'll get back to this here in a second. Again, this is supposed to be one of the characters that they're propping up here, and it's like, I can see the design that they're going with here, but I'll be a little bit fair until I play the full game, and I can be like, oh yeah, this shit sucks. It's like, I won't say that just yet, but it feels like they're trying to go with something different, but I don't know, it just feels like I said earlier, how do you really upkeep the horror elements of a game that's been around for 30 years, and the technological advances that the game has made takes away from the elements of horror that was once associated with it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's the Marathon syndrome. You take a look at Marathon, it looks nothing like the original game. It has absolutely no DNA aside from the names that it shares with it. That's it. The names and terminology is the only thing it shares. Everything else has been completely stripped out of it. And so... she, however, the main character here that we're following in this one, or at least the secondary main, I guess, but she cannot do the fighting that Leon can. When she fires a gun, the recoil nearly throws the gun out of her hand. She is just not at all meant for combat, and that is incredibly refreshing, believe it or not. It makes the game much more scary when you're dealing with a woman who flatly has no combat experience and has been thrown into a life or death situation where she has to fight her way out and protect the little girl along the way.
They didn't do the strong female lead thing where she's just a superhero badass from the very beginning, which again shows you that this game was made by Japanese people.
Right. Well, and the other thing about her character is that she does not come out the other side being like Captain Marvel. She stays Ellen Ripley, in that she's determined to save this little girl. She's determined to get out alive, but it's a woman. She's not prepared for this type of combat. And I know a lot of people don't like to hear language like that because they're like, oh yeah, women can do everything the men can. Well, that's why we had to lower the Marine exams, right?
Yeah.
Because women can do everything men can. And this game finally admits that, yeah, a little...
I think that Iranian boxer a few years ago proved that women cannot actually do anything a man can do.
But, you got a 5'2", 115-pound 20-something. She's not going to be able to do much to a 7-foot-tall man that has homicidal intention. Mm-hmm. Let alone a 12-foot-tall monster crawling through the elevator shafts.
Put it to you like this, she wouldn't be able to do much against Brock Lesnar. So what makes you think that she can do the same thing against a genetically modified a mutant man?
I think someone posted the mod. They've already modded this, by the way. Yep.
Oh yeah, no. By the way, I mean, modern games these days are just acting to be modded at this point.
Oh, it's so good though. So here we go. You ready? You ready, chat? You ready? Brace yourselves.
Mm-hmm. Well, like they don't stop.
Somebody once told me.
Somebody once told me the world was macaroni.
Now that would be funny if you have like the villain singing terrible parodies while they're hunting for the protagonist. Yeah. They're singing like Weird Al parodies while they're chasing you through the building.
Okay, I gotta play this. Make sure that it's all good. Yeah, we're fine. We can get away with this. Pause on that one here for a second because I want to derail the conversation. Yeah, we're gonna hold off on that one for a second. I just want to derail this conversation with another gem. Since we're on the line of parody songs, have you ever heard of this?
This has been teaching kids how to count, by the way.
Yeah, this is hilarious.
I can only count to 4. I can only count to 4. I can only count to...
Do you remember Kermit the Log?
Yeah, right. Did Kermit start hanging out with the Juggalos? Cookie Monster.
Hello.
1, 2, 5.
like how the whole concept of the song is that he can only count to 4, but it's also proving that he also cannot count to 4 either.
One, I can count to 1, 2, I can count to 2, 3, I can count to 3, 4, I can't count no more. 1, what comes after 1, 2, what comes after 2, 3, what comes after 3, 4. I can only count to 4, I can only count to 4, I can only count to 4. I can only count to 4, I can only count to 4, I can only count to 4.
I mean, I trust this person with my children more than Miss Rachel. So I mean,
Yeah,
there's
well,
that.
there are a bunch of pictures of toddlers just dancing around watching this, and I'm like, okay, whatever, man. If you want to bring your kids up like that, you know. Kermit has face tattoos. You can too, apparently, Junior. Remember they used to do like they draw on your face, the face painting. Mm-hmm. Now the kids are like, can you do mine like Takeshi 6ix9ine? Can you make me look like that other guy that was in movies?
Remember how controversial it was like 20 years ago when Mike Tyson got his face tattoo? And everyone was like, oh my God, Mike Tyson got a face tattoo. He's an absolute wild man. And now like everyone just like marks up their face.
Now like 16-year-old girls get like
Yeah.
obscene things tattooed to their face forever. Yeah. Getting their eyeballs tattooed. Why not?
The eyeball tattoo is just the absolute worst. It's like you got to be demonically possessed to do something like that, because no normal human man comes up with an idea that diabolical. Yeah, I want my eyeballs tattooed so they just look black and demonic.
People just go blind from it anyway. So what do you know?
Yeah, 'cause
Pumping ink
it's
into your
almost-
eyes doesn't work.
Yeah, almost like injecting ink into your eyes has long-term effects. Who could have ever saw something like that coming? But while we were back here on Resident Evil, have you ever heard of this movie? It came out just a couple of years ago. This is maybe about, I'd say, 3-4 years ago. A movie called Return to Raccoon City. So here's what happened. Mila Jovovich, who has been doing these Resident Evil movies that mostly no one likes for the course of 15 years, finally said, okay, we're done here. We did it was like either 6th or 7th one. I don't remember how many there were, but we're done. Well, Sony was like, well, wait a second. Resident Evil is a popular franchise. We need to make our own Resident Evil movie. We can reset the franchise with all new people. So their idea was, hey, let's do a video game movie based on the second Resident Evil game. We'll hire a bunch of young adult actors to play the role of the star characters and turn it into borderline Divergent slop. That's what this film was. This film is actually worse. So that woman right here, her name is Kaya. I forget what her last name is, but she plays Claire Redfield in this particular movie. And this movie is essentially set up to make Claire Redfield the heroic badass of the film. Because everything needs to go around. So all of that is in there too. I believe Leon is in this movie, played by an actor who does not look like Leon whatsoever. Right.
Oh, now I remember this. That's what people were mad about. That's right. It was like an Indian guy or something.
Yeah, it was some guy from like Nickelodeon or something like that played him. Not only did he not look like Leon at all in any way, shape, or form, but they turned him into a complete incompetent buffoon. Yeah. So it's like...
They have to.
Yeah, right. Obviously, he's a rookie cop, but there's a difference between being a rookie and being a boob, and they turned him into a boob for the context of this particular movie. So everything about this was just trite.
You just let the trailer play. It's fine.
Yeah,
you put it on loop if you want to. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it is muted anyway, so we should be fine. But yeah. Oh, this movie was so bad, and I'm getting like PTSD, like going back and thinking about it here too. But they thought that this was going after. Honestly, 15 years of Mila and what's his name, Paul W.S. Anderson kind of holding the franchise hostage. This was their opportunity to set things in a new direction, and this is what they did. It almost makes you wish that, you know what, maybe you should have just given it back to them and let them do more movies, because if this is your best idea that you had after 15 years, maybe you don't deserve to be in control of this whole thing, right? But it brings out all the old tropes of like, oh, you guys remember the Demon Dogs? You guys remember the Demon Dogs? By the way, that guy, I think it's like Robbie Amell, or whatever his name is, this dude, that's supposed to be Chris in the film too. And I think that he's playing like a bad guy in the film too, or someone that's got, because why not, right?
It's all fan fiction.
Like this one is even more egregious than the other, because you can say whatever you want about the Mila Jovovich movies, but her character is essentially, I guess you could say, non-canon to the actual canon
The whole
series,
story
right? Like,
is just non-canon. It's
it's
straight up
just-
fan fiction.
exactly, but at least with her character, it's like, okay, it sucks, but her character is not even official to the games anyway, and Capcom has made it very, very clear she never will be. So it's like, okay, do what you want with those characters, but now you're taking the characters people actually do like and are tearing them to the ground here too, to the point where it's like, if you go back and you watch some of the older Resident Evil movies, they did a much better job portraying Chris and Leon than this film did, and they had no other excuse of doing so. I'm trying to remember who even wrote this garbage.
Seth Rogen?
No, unfortunately. Some guy called, was it Johnny's Roberts, who's done a couple of horror movies that no one remembers, and apparently he just did some movie called Primate that came out earlier this year about a monkey that goes crazy and slaughters a bunch of people.
That one.
Yeah, so
It's based on a true story or something.
well, I mean, don't have monkeys as pets. I mean, I don't know. That has to be told to 281. You think they would just inherently know better?
Monkeys have not been domesticated. There's a reason why you don't go to the pound and find a fucking monkey hanging out with the dogs and cats, okay? Because it hasn't been domesticated.
Oh, so I forgot to mention this here too, because this is another thing that got completely overlooked here. Let me go back here just for a second and try to find the frame here. This lovely biracial woman who, if you guys don't know, plays Ghost in the Marvel Cinematic, the gender swapped version of Ghost in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. She's playing Jill Valentine in this movie series. So I bet you weren't thinking that you're watching Jill Valentine right now, but yes, she is in fact playing Jill in this movie.
Another redhead bites the dust.
So the entire casting of this was horrendous, and then the writing was somehow even worse than that.
Yeah, and so one of the things about Resident Evil that's sort of kind of gone by the wayside over the years is that it's really not built for the tech age. The story is just not, it doesn't work if you have a cell phone. It just immediately falls apart if you have a cell phone and can call for backup. And that's why a lot of these are set in a time period where we didn't have like the instant connection of cell phone in your pocket. It's probably been like the horror's biggest challenge, is trying to navigate what to do now that people can just call for help and send videos out into the world and make people aware of all the crazy shit they're going through. You can live stream your horror experience. Some games have tried to tackle that, where you're I forget which one it was, but it was like a Japanese schoolgirl game where you're like this vlogging Japanese student, and your bus breaks down, you have to go into like this haunted school and stuff, and so you're vlogging your experience coming across all these horrific Japanese demons and stuff.
That only works if you have like an over the top obnoxious like streamer character like iShowSpeed, and you do that same premise.
Well, I mean, if you just take an iShowSpeed scene where he just shows up anywhere and there's like hundreds of thousands of people trying to rip his hair out of his head,
Yeah.
that's you could do that. See, but the thing is about a lot of this zombie stuff is it's starting to wear thin. I know people love zombies, but we've been doing zombie horror for 40 years now. And it has dominated horror the way vampires used to dominate horror. It's so old.
I mean, and this is another problem here, right? I mean, first of all, let's just address this here real quick, and we'll get to that conversation. This is Leon in the movie. So
Okay.
we just talked about how Leon is supposed to look like a 50-year-old in the new video game that just came out. This is how he's supposed to look in the movie. Now, he's supposed to be playing a young 20-year-old Leon who just got onto the Force, man, because this is the time period that they went with. So they thought, oh, Leon Kennedy, this is our guy right here.
This is the facial structure of someone who belongs in a stoner comedy. It's not the facial structure of a man that survives a, techno-chemical outbreak that destroys the world and causes his city to get nuked.
Like I said, no one, like, this is like a bad fan. Like, this is literally like a bunch of friends got together. It's like, hey, let's
He
just make our
casted,
own...
yeah, he casted himself as Leon. That's what it looks like. The guy made a fan movie and casted himself as Leon.
Exactly. And then casted his girlfriend as Jill Valentine because no one was going to say anything about that, right?
They had like a short bus full of people to make this movie, and they're like, I ain't got money to hire nobody else. And that's what this looks like. Yeah, you're right.
You know, at least those people have, you know, at least the humility to be like, hey, look, we didn't have much going with this, so, you know, we just basically made this with like an iPhone, $50 in a dream. And it's like, at least that I can respect. But
Yeah, right. I
still.
mean, this is a $200 million production, most likely. And, you know, they're neck deep in that, by the way. It's not
even
just
worse.
like we filmed a movie. They are like full bore trying to make you think that this is a retelling of the game.
You want to know how bad this was? This only was made for a budget of $25 million, and it only made 42 worldwide, which means it still lost money with a $25 million budget.
So that means it's doing worse than The Bride.
It's doing worse than basically everything. Oh yeah, we'll talk about The Bride tomorrow because that's a whole other can of worms.
I don't really want to. Okay.
You're going to. It's just, but yeah, so there was something else I was going to mention there right before we started talking, and then I lost my train of thought.
Fan film, Resident Evil, cheaply made.
God, it was literally just
Guy who doesn't look like Leon.
And then girl who doesn't look like Claire either, because I mean, like, this is literally like if Nickelodeon had made a Resident Evil film and then put this whole thing together. It's bad.
You know, with the colors they chose, it really does look like Nickelodeon trying. Remember when Disney did a horror movie there? It was what was that? It was some.
Is that the one where they had that really cringy, like, you know, disclaimer where it was like, okay, because this episode is a little scarier than what we normally produce. Parental discretion is advised. And
Yeah, it was like you see what?
And then you just saw like it wasn't even that terrible. I mean, then again, you have to think about the context of like a 8-year-old watching it or something like that.
Right. Well, you know, you're not going to put the Texas Chainsaw Massacre on Disney. You know, I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. But
not in this town.
But no, it was a movie about a girl being harassed by a boogeyman. But it was like it was done up like The Village, in that the monster was in the woods and it would come out of the woods and try to get her. And I just remember all of this stupid lighting effect that they had in it, that it was just like red lights randomly everywhere where they don't belong. Red light pouring out of every corner in order to make you like, oh God, it's scary.
You know what? And you say that, and now I'm kind of like putting on like the filmmaker hat, and I'm thinking to myself, this is literally like, you know, like when people shoot movies and there's like certain scenes where nothing really looks right, but they know that they're gonna fix it in post. They're gonna add the effects, and it's gonna make it look a lot more dramatic than.
And the editor forgot to do that.
Exactly right. It looks like that someone just forgot to add in all the effects that was supposed to make it look good. So now it's just like, yeah, we'll just put up a bunch of red light bulbs like here on the counter, and then like, you know, just put a little mesh down on the ground. We'll make it look like rocks and rubble in post. And it's like, oh, you want us to do that? Oops, forgot to do all that. But
we don't get paid enough to do that.
So there's the other issue that Resident Evil is kind of in, and really it's not just them; it's a lot of people. Zombies have just been done to death. Like this the period, it's been absolutely done to death.
No pun intended.
I mean, The Walking Dead came along and kind of took the zombie title for a long time there. And even people were sick to death of The Walking Dead. By the way, they're still doing a multitude of Walking Dead shows to this day.
Daryl's in France?
Daryl's in France for some reason. Maggie and Negan are teaming up in New York. They got their own separate thing. It's like Rick and Michonne are somewhere on the West Coast. Whatever her name is. Michelle McCool.
Michonne.
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 I just call her Black Sword Girl, and that's about what I would say there. But they're doing all of these spin-offs, and it's like, guys, at your height, at your peak, you had like 17 million people watching the show. You can't even get 400,000 people to watch your show. That means it's over. That literally means it's not even more over than it is right now. And I'm just looking at some of these current numbers here. So that's how far The Walking Dead has fallen. So how do you even, repopularize a genre that people are just ultimately just done with? And then the 28 days, weeks, whatever we want to call it, a franchise is doing the same thing. They just put out a zombie movie last month that bombed at the box office. Like, no one's really messing with zombie related content anymore because it's just been done to death. And in all honesty, the majority of the content, with a few outliers every now and then, haven't been that good to begin with. I mean, we've
I'm going to
seen...
say something stupid.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say something really stupid. And I know everyone's going to hate me for saying it.
Get your rocks out.
Okay. This was probably the most inventive take on zombies in the past 30 years.
Definitely not this one, right?
This one right here. Warm Bodies. Oh, sorry. I had,
yeah,
no.
yeah, popped it up.
Wrong screen. There it is. Wrong screen. So this is the most inventive take on zombies in the past 20 years, in my opinion. If you don't know, in the story, a zombie apocalypse has happened. Humanity has barricaded itself. They go out for resources. They encounter zombies. Somehow, one of the zombies decides to fall in love, and love reconstitutes his humanity, and over the course of the movie, he is rehabilitated back into life, basically. There's a point in being a zombie where I don't know what they called them, but I called them boners. I don't know what they are, but I called them boners in the movie because
that's subtle.
They're just running. They're just skeletons, like from the Jason and the Argonauts movie. They're just fucking skeletons. That's all they are. And I don't know what they were actually called, like bone men but I went with boners because it was just more interesting. And so that's the point where you can't come back. But up until that point, you just fall in love and then you just come back to life. And that's what happens to this guy is he's a zombie. She apparently is like, you know what? I'll suck a dead dude's dick, I guess. And
I'm not against it.
They end up falling in love or something. But over time, he ends up becoming a boy again, and people are like, yay! And all the other zombies can do this. But throughout the movie, what's interesting is zombies are talking to each other. So you see the funny guy, bald guy character that was in Hot Tub Time Machine, Lou. I don't remember the actor's name, but he's the co-zombie. He's the buddy zombie to the main character here. Yeah. And so as they're going through this, they grunt at each other, but we see like this these huge subtitles show up underneath it every time they're like a full-on comment. They go to the bar every day because they don't know what to do. Nobody's serving them drinks, so they just sit down at the bar and sit there all day. And he said, the character's describing being a zombie is boring and dull, but it's like, it's been the most inventive take. And I wouldn't say this because like it's usurping expectations or whatever, but the fact that a zombie could be rehabilitated through, compassion and love and whatnot is the most interesting thing that they've done with zombies. Most of the time it's just you're bitten, you turn into a horrible cannibalistic animal man, and you just eat yourself to death. Mm-hmm. And that's it. There's no story from the zombies' perspective on this. Not that we need to rehabilitate the villain idea of the zombie, but we rarely ever get like the zombie POV, how they function. We only get the guy that feels super bad about being a zombie turning into a zombie's POV. That's all we get. So this was a nice story where it was like the zombies are talking to each other and they're having fantastic philosophical conversations, but all you hear is have you seen that movie? It's worth a watch because it's just so stupid, but I just love the concept.
Oh man, I had a video for you here, but I don't think WWE is going to allow us to show it because they don't allow anyone to show anything that belongs to them, and that's why WWE sucks. So,
is this a WWE thing?
It is zombie. No, not this. The one I was going to show you. It's zombie related and it's hilarious, but WWE is not going to allow you to show it because they're a bunch of jackholes. So what I wanted to show you here is a little game. Some of you guys may remember it came and went. I think people were expecting to have a much bigger impact than it did. And I think what happened was that they realized that the project was going to be a little too big, and they kind of tried to split it into two different games rather than one congruent game. So if you guys remember what happened with like Sonic the Hedgehog 3 during the Genesis era, it feels like the same thing happened here. But this was kind of their, hey, let's do a Resident Evil game set in Raccoon City that has nothing to do with, the Jills and the Chris's and the Leons. Let's just kind of tell our own story here. It's called Resident Evil Outbreak. So literally the story starts in Raccoon City, as you can see here. Everyone's out of the bar being depressed like everyone else does when they go out to bars, and then zombie apocalypse happens, and you have to survive literally within minutes of it happening. So I just wish you could credit the quick intro here to this.
I don't know, games just look better like this when it wasn't like you could see every fiber of their hair and every wrinkle and things. Just look better.
Aren't you eating anything? Hey, Bob, where's your mind at?
What?
This guy just saw the Epstein files.
What a weird customer.
Who
Yep,
is
this
he?
is Japanese.
Oh yeah.
Damn it. He's unconscious. Are you all right?
It's, the America would like, the fuck is wrong with you, pal? Get the hell out of here.
I don't know, it's that dude from Rage Against the Machine.
French fries. Please, French fries. Remember that time when Bikini Bottom was a bunch of zombies?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. Remember loading screens?
Remember
That-
loading screens were a thing and they took forever? So this is it. This is the start of the game. In this context, you have exactly 5 minutes to gather up supplies and make your way out of the building before you get overrun. So you have to push that barrel in the door to buy yourself some time, even though it ultimately doesn't help much.
Well, thank God the bar just had that out front for everybody to grab. The handgun just hanging out there. Again, another Japanese game. A handgun out in the open, not being taken. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Why now?
And then you got NPCs just, saying random words and stuff. You have the old man that you can choose to help, or you could just choose to say, fuck him, he's on his own.
The walking is very annoying.
Yeah.
The little
See, this is the
very annoying.
PS2 era. They had to try to be realistic. So in the PS2 capabilities, realism was, hey, let's have footsteps. People can hear footsteps. That's how much effort we're putting into the game.
So footsteps that sound like wooden clogs.
Because it's not just your footsteps, it's the footsteps of the NPCs that are also with you as well.
Yeah, it just sounds like a bunch of... Remember in gym class when they touch you to play basketball and you're dribbling and stuff? Everybody's dribbling at the same time. That's what it sounds like.
Yep, see, they broke it anyway, so...
We read the Epstein files. We know the truth.
Why was Stephen Hawking's there?
How come Bill Clinton hasn't been arrested?
Given his physical condition, are we not sure he was a victim?
Hillary Clinton can just walk out of an deposition?
How was Bill not arrested on the spot?
Like that would be a pretty fun mod where they just keep like talking, asking questions about the conspiracy theories related to the Epstein files instead of going. They're talking about the Epstein files.
So what actually is beef jerky? Yeah, so like I said, in the concept here, this just continues until you have to fight your way through the city. There's multiple cutscenes and loading screens and all this stuff.
And the
Eventually, no, that's actually a crow. So as you advance into the game, you're not only just dealing with zombies. You got to deal with like giant leeches and monsters and all kinds of stuff now.
Move the police car over there to.
From what I've been hearing about the Chinese military, they saw this and they were like, no, these are good ideas. Let's make this a reality.
Yeah.
They're going the biopunk route where they make mutants, apparently.
Yeah.
That's what they're solution is going to
But
be.
another point I wanted to make here is with the gameplay, because it's like this is classic Resident Evil gameplay, especially for like the PS2 era. So it wasn't all high pace, fast action, quick time events. Like this was it. Like you were essentially put in a position where you got a puzzle to solve, and you got to figure out very quickly how to survive, or else things ain't going well for you, buddy. And by the way, you
Remember
see
when-
there on the bottom right, that little meter, that's your infection meter. So once you go to 100%, if you're playing solo, you automatically die. And if you're playing co-op, you die and you come back as a zombie.
Oh. Is your goal then to hurt people?
Yeah. I mean, once you become a zombie, then you basically, your role is just to try to kill everyone else on screen.
Oh. Seems pretty gay.
Yeah. Oh, the poor aiming, because you know there was no aimbot in this game. There was no crosshairs, so you
Yeah.
just had to be directional and just hope that you hit what you were trying to hit.
The shotgun is the best method here. Scatter shot.
Oh, this is where Cop Guy gets it pretty badly.
That's a fuel tank. Leak the gas and use it to burn these bastards. Do it now! Ah!
Epstein was behind microtransactions.
Bill Gates. It was Bill Gates all the time.
He had herpes from a Russian hooker.
But it's fine. You just apologize for it, so everyone just pretend like it didn't happen.
Right? That's what being rich gets you.
Yep.
People just forget.
Help me, anyone! Watch out!
I guess.
But yeah.
Why
No,
are
this
there
is actually
almost no
hilarious.
women on the list?
That's it then? Get in.
So this part is absolutely hysterical, right? Because you get to this part where you find a cop. He's like, "Hey, I got a van. Hop into the van, and we'll get out of the city." You think, "Okay, yeah, you're saved." This is what happens. This is not even a cut or an edit or anything. This is literally what just happens in the game.
Get in, please.
Like, sayonara, suckers.
And then the van
The highway is
explodes.
too dangerous. We're taking side streets.
Of course. Why is the highway dangerous
Another
again?
barricade. As you can see, there are too many roadblocks. I'm afraid you'll have to get out and continue on foot.
Thanks for the van.
That's it. That's it. So it's like, yeah, there's too many roadblocks. I don't want to drive through them. So get out and keep walking. And that's literally what happens. It just tells him, "Yeah, sorry, you're on your own."
Stupid. See,
And then the final part of this game is that you got to put a bomb together and blow up the zombies.
well, I mean, that's interesting at least, right? I wouldn't say it's too clever, but it's interesting. Again, it's the whole zombie apocalypse thing, and I'm sure when this game came out, that was kind of interesting and exciting, but now it's just like, oh, okay. What bomb did you put together?
Yeah,
Just
that's
blow
like
up.
that's like a tactical nuke strike. That's not just like,
Yeah, right. That's at least an airstrike kind of thing, man. That's
Like,
not like
there-
a bomb I
there's-
built in my basement.
There's drones that don't do that much damage.
Yeah, right? Iran didn't even get hit that hard.
I don't know, right? Jeez.
Crazy.
But yeah, that's classical Resident Evil to kind of just propose where we're at now in 2026 with the franchise. So
Right, with all the hyper realism and stuff. Again, it's trying to it wants to do less action horror and more psychological horror now, I guess, which was more Silent Hill's lane, where Silent Hill was always that kind of quiet jump scare bullshit stuff. And Resident Evil was sort of in the action realm of like you got to go out and fight those Zambambos yourself. And that was from Two Best Friends Play. I don't own that, by the way. Since the broken up Two Best Friends Play and Mac McMuscles. So
yeah. So let me ask you this real quick, and this would be kind of a last segue in this particular conversation. I'm assuming you are aware of Silent Hill and the Silent Hill franchise, right?
Yeah.
So,
Not all of it, obviously, but some of it.
So what's your best take and estimation to why Silent Hill never blew up to the level that Resident Evil did? Because they've made plenty of attempts to do so, especially in the mainstream land. They made a few movies now and there, games, but it never quite had the impact that Resident Evil had as much as they tried.
It's too slow. Really, that's the crux of it. Is it's too slow. The plot unfolds too slow. The action unfolds too slow. It's again, as a psychological horror, it's really more engaged with making your brain afraid than making your heart afraid, I guess, and that your body afraid. Whereas that's what Resident Evil was particularly good at, is like getting you in the action, so you're focused on the action, and then scaring the bejesus out of you with what was the big zombie guy that looked like a circumcised penis? Nemesis.
Oh yeah, like Nyx or something like that. Something.
Nemesis. That was his name. Was Nemesis.
There was a
He was
few
the one
of
that
them
looked like a
that.
circumcised penis, and then that guy would just randomly show up and just wreck your shit, you know. And that was the difference. Whereas like Pyramid Head would chase you through half the map, and that was just really dull after a while playing tag with Pyramid Head. So, that's truthfully what it is. Resident Evil also had like a solid central point, whereas Silent Hill was kind of like taking you on a tour of how asylums are bad. You know, mental health is scary. That's what that's taking. Whereas Resident Evil was like, this corporation built some crazy shit and it leaked. So we had to nuke a city. You know, and so the order of escalation is pretty crazy. Whereas Silent Hill is like, no, all this spooky shit's just hanging out there, and you just had the unfortunate luck of parking your car next to it.
Yeah. Then there's also like the implications of like, yeah, we really don't know how to dance around the whole issue of this sexual abuse that seems to have a pretty big deal with our canon and stuff like that. And it's like, I don't know if we really want to touch all that. So they probably had some problems with that too. But
You know, a core problem with doing mental health horror is that you are going to run into that. That was the big thing with Silent Hill F, the one that just came out there.
yeah.
The core central point to that is that this female was abused, and she was abused in, you know, ways that are difficult to explain to your grandma.
Yeah.
And that, again, that makes it hard to play for a lot of people. Whereas Resident Evil is like, this evil corporation has done some evil shit. You gotta shoot them and blow them up, and you gotta nuke a city, and there's a lot of action solution-oriented stuff. Whereas Silent Hill is like, suffer, protagonist, suffer. You know, and that's the story of Silent Hill, is it just makes you suffer, and then the game ends. So
That too. Yeah, that's a big part.
Resident Evil's like, nope, we gotta blow something up at the end. That's how this works. The whole franchise is built on blowing cities up. Come on.
We need 10 hours of gameplay that leads to a battle with a giant 40-foot monster, and then game ends.
Right. And then they threw a big titty 8-foot-tall vampire bug lady into it, and that changed everything.
A tall 10-foot big titty mid-card jobber who won't even make the third act of our game.
I mean, seriously, we need to bring back these gigantic women. You know, like Xena. Remember Xena? Is Lucy Lawless like 6 feet tall, 5'10", 6 feet tall?
I don't even remember. I'm about to say I don't think she was gigantic, but then again, I'm also trying to think about.
What's a gigantic lady, Jacob? Come on, most of them are like 5'4". So you get one that's 6 feet tall.
I mean, yeah, like when you're talking about gigantic lady, I'm talking about like women who are like 6'3", 6'4", somewhere like around there. Like
they're out there, but good luck, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you just like, I mean, any average, like, so Lucy Lawless is like 5'10", so I mean, she might be an Amazon in your like estimation, but I mean,
it's only 3 inches, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
But Lucy Lawless was a tall lady as far as lady folk go. And so her form was quite daunting among lady folk, which was what Xena mainly spent her time around. And so, I mean, watching who's another tall gal that was in movies and TV, and I forget her name now.
I mean, there's that tall lady who played Princess Diana a couple of years ago.
Wasn't Gina Davis like 5'10"? How tall is she?
I don't think she's that tall. No, she's 6 foot.
She's
so I
6 feet
guess,
tall, yeah. So like Gina Davis, you need to
for
bring
a
back
lady.
tall ladies in movies, you know? Tall ladies in horror in particular. Make the villains tall ladies. I'm sure the tall women will definitely resonate with that, you know?
Well, see, here's the
if
problem.
I had the power.
You can't do a movie just about Amazons because in modern Hollywood, they know that only men would go see that, and they're not trying to make, entertainment for men in 2026.
Yeah, that was like what was it? What was that movie? It was like on Venus. It was a bunch of male astronauts landed on Venus, and they were it's like the Amazons of Venus or something like that. It was like one of those 50s, 60s sci-fi movies. But
I mean, that seems like a very common premise for a few.
I think this will probably do very well. It might lead to a Resident Evil 10, but I just don't see 11 happening. It's just sort of.
I mean, the timetable here, how long did it take for us to get this one? So, I mean, you're talking about, 5 years of development to get this particular game? I think it's probably even longer than it. Well,
Longer than that. Resident Evil 9 was out like mid 2010s, right?
yeah.
You
So,
ate Resident-
Village was the last one. That was 2021. So,
Yeah.
that was the game we just showed here at the earlier portion of this. So, it's been about 5 years. So, it seems like their current pace at the moment seems to be every 5 years for a new mainline Resident Evil game. So
Well, they're coming out faster than hero shooters, so.
or what's the other one? Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, right?
Like,
Grand
okay.
Theft Auto.
Grand
People have
Auto-
been born and got their driver's license since
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto started developing. But
Like people are literally playing Grand Theft Auto with their children now. That's how bad it's been. That's how long it's been since we've had one of those. So
But like I said, I just don't see Resident Evil 11 happening. 10 definitely, but I don't see 11 happening. It just because again, it's sort of like at what point are we going to say, okay, the T virus isn't really a problem anymore. It's just these scary people. Because that's been most of the Resident Evil story since the beginning. I think it was like after 3. After 3, it was just like there are evil people doing dumb, crazy shit. And it involves the T-Virus very loosely. And now it's like next to nothing to do with the Umbrella Corporation, has next to nothing to do with Wesker or the experiments that were going on there. It's this whole divergent timeline of families and people that are alien people or demon aliens. And it's just one of those, I don't know, I just don't think
like
it's gonna
how
fly.
much more can you possibly pivot? Because if you look at the history of Resident Evil, they've pivoted a few times with the monsters. Remember that was the whole thing in kind of the PS2 era with Resident Evil 4. It's like, oh, it's not just run of the mill zombies anymore. It's like it's more like they're parasites and they can control and they're smarter than just the regular T virus. And then you had like the T virus and the H virus and the G virus and all this other stuff. So it's like they kept trying to change the style of zombies and how they operate. But it's kind of the problem with anything that goes along for about 30 years. It's like at a certain point, what story do you really have left to tell without pivoting into something completely and totally new, right? Because
Gee.
you had to.
I wonder, at what point do you have to pivot into something completely new?
I know, right? That has to be like just an absolute nightmare for anyone in the Hollywood game. It's like, oh, we have to stop draining the cash cow. It's like I don't want to do that.
I haven't heard anything about the Avengers leaks because I just don't care. I'm sorry, Sakuramita. I just don't. If the movie comes
here's the
out, I
thing.
might catch it on a hat cam, but I'm probably just going to catch a few clips and make a judgment off of those. So,
I mean, here's the thing. There have been fake leaks for that movie now for like 30-something weeks where it's like, oh, here's a clip of Doom and it's clearly AI. And they just like put
very
it all
clearly
together.
AI.
It's just
Yeah,
very
it was that
clearly
one of
AI.
him like romancing the Benjamin Reed there, the kid that would become the Beyonder.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's getting stupid. What's this now?
That lady is what's her name? Cameron Brink, 6'4", tall Amazon basketball player.
I can't look at this too long, Jacob. I won't be able to keep doing the show.
Hold on, where's the button? I don't know. I'll have to, is this the button? Check. That's the wrong button. Wrong button. Hold on a second. I'm trying to figure out a way to close this. I just can't close it right now. This one. Damn it. This one. There we go. We found it. Crisis averted.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah! You're doing it good, buddy. Great job.
Great job. Thanks for saving me from that. But yeah, no, I'm sorry, guys. I have a weakness for tall women. So that like a 6'4" basketball player on a beach,
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys that watch women's basketball for the articles.
I mean, let's be a little fair here. I mean, if you want tall, good-looking women, you watch volleyball. If you just want tall women, you watch basketball. I mean, like I said, you not all tall women are made the same. You do have the Brittany Griners of the world, and
That's very true.
That will make it shrivel up and die very, very quickly.
Oh yeah. And speaking of shriveling up and dying, though, I do want to just talk about this because it's been pissing off a lot of people that I talk about it. Yay.
Oh boy.
Marathon, not doing so hot. Bungie's marathon is not doing too hot, and as of yet, it has still yet to beat Highguard, which is going to be shut down in today.
Yeah.
Next week, no, the 12th. It's shut down the 12th. So it's Thursday. What a weird time to shut down the game. But yeah, over on Steam charts, it is not going well for Marathon. Again, we're going to reiterate that to you guys. Again, the peak was 4 days ago at 88,000. Now, I know. This isn't the only platform to play this, but unfortunately, Sony and Xbox and everybody else that has the player counts over there, they don't make those public. So we don't know if 5 or 5,000 or 5 million people are playing this game. They just tell us, kind of like that Assassin's Creed thing, like, oh, we have a grillion players all over the world. Yeah, anyway. So that's what's happening with why we're using Steam Charts, is because Steam Charts is able to show us a live count of who is playing on Steam. Now, why that matters is because Steam is pretty much the central focus of PC gaming, okay? I said pretty much, okay? I'm sure there's somebody out there that has a better website that they love very dearly, but Steam is most popularly associated with being the central hub for PC gaming, okay? What I want to make clear about that is that these numbers are on their way down. This is Monday, and it has still not been able to defeat its launch day 88,000 players. And as you can see, it's fluctuated pretty deeply, but again, that has to deal with people going to bed and whatnot. But this is a worldwide game. This is not a game that's only exclusive to the American market. So it would stand to reason that when the Americans go to sleep, the Europeans would pick up. And when the Europeans go to sleep, the Japanese would be there. And maybe the Chinese if they have VPNs. But it would stand to reason that that wouldn't be fluctuating so damn hard. But here we are, 60,000 players at 8:20 p.m. on a Monday, obviously. But only 60,000 players on this AAA game that was promoted to the tune of millions of dollars. No such luck. No such luck. I'm trying to remember where I put the... What's that?
No, I thought I was going with what you were about to say.
Oh, no, I made a meme for this, and I just forget where I put it now. Where did I put that meme? It was a funny meme. Is this one? Yeah, here we are. Are we over 88K yet? We'll get there when we get there.
Just keep going, guys. Just keep going.
There was another one. There was a Herald meme. There it is. There it is. Less players just means more room on the servers for me and my friends.
Mm-hmm.
This is the senior producer, though.
Of course.
And you'll note the trans flag.
Of course.
And the pronouns. So
I just want to point it out, like, for about a good solid 15 years there was a campaign that people unfortunately took seriously. It was like, guys, we need to make more things more open and welcoming for women and for, the rainbow flag people, and people bought it. And now here we are in 2026, more than a handful of years into this experiment, and you're starting to understand now why certain people were gate-kept out of this whole profession to begin with. Indeed. So
how did Highguard pull it off? Well, Jeff Keighley, a guy that's very important to gaming, decided to promote it at the end of the Game of the Year awards last year. Yeah, the end of last year. And that's why people jumped at it, because they were like, oh, I got to see what he's pushing here. And they didn't even have to pay for that placement. that just got in there because, you know, it was so good. And it immediately dropped off, though. But that's how it pulled off almost 100,000 players. But Marathon is just not doing it, you know? Richard brings up actors tend to be shorter on average, so maybe it just looks like the ladies are taller because the men are shorter. Maybe the ladies aren't ladies anymore, like the one on screen. So, I mean, but no, the actors being shorter on average, sure, that stands to reason, you know. But what I'm getting at more is like actresses that are like Gina Davis, that are like Lucy Lawless, that are actually, you know, close to 6 feet tall or over 6 feet tall, being in more movies. I mean, I don't understand why they want to. It's not that I want a social change on this or some type of representation BS. I just like tall ladies, and I don't understand why movies are afraid of them all of a sudden. I think the tallest one that's been around that's popular anymore is Gal Gadot, and she's like 5'11", 5'10".
Yeah, she's a moderately tall lady bird.
Yeah, so I think that's the tallest actress that's like popular right now. I'm sure there's plenty of them out there. But
I don't know if I call her popular anymore because it seems like a lot of people have turned against her over the last couple
well,
of years.
yeah, she did make that movie about, you know, the situation that's happening in a place that's far, far away that doesn't like us talking about.
Because she is from that nation that, you know, everyone's decided they really, really hate now for some weird reason. I'm pretty sure it's not biblical at all. Right.
So yeah, no, but that's what that's going on. But speaking of weird nations, we do have what is this one? This is Pikmon now. Okay.
Pikmon.
Now you might be thinking that this looks like another video game out there that also pissed off Pokemon, and you are absolutely right. This apparently is a ripoff of both Pal World and Pokemon at the same time. Pal World.
Somebody ripped off the ripoff.
Yeah, but did the ripoff so much better because if you, not that better is in like the sense of like it's superior product, but better is in the sense of like it just ripped Pokemon designs, just pulled them right out and said, "Fuck it, those are mine now."
Yep.
I'm not even gonna change the colors.
This isn't Pikachu. This is Rokachu.
This is Jeff. This isn't Pikachu. This is Jeff.
This is Bill.
Yeah, right. They don't have like exotic animal names. They just have regular people names, but like boring ones.
This isn't Charmander. This is Jorge.
Yes, it's Jorge. And his older brother Juan. But see, so they took Pal World's farming and environmental world building sort of stuff, you know, survivor kind of stuff, mustering. And they combined it with Pokemon's, you know, animal catching mechanism. And
this game is literally like the video game equivalent of just saying, your move, Nintendo.
yeah, you know, we're going to find out that this is like some AI thing that was made in like 2 weeks. You know, that this is like the best footage possible they could get of the whole thing because it's just so patchwork together. But yeah, the
it's
fun
like
thing
somebody
about this,
said, it's like somebody said on like AI, just went like, yeah, to make me a Digimon in AI. It's like, did you mean Pokemon? And he just went, yes.
Whatever.
And just get sure.
Just make me a thing, you know, and that's that green thing is just straight up out of Pokemon. That thing is just straight up out of Pokemon. There's another one here. The motorcycle Pokemon does that too. But this one turns into a common rider because we got to be that guy. And of course, Pal World also lets you ride your pets like a hang glider. So that's another feature that they took from Pal World. And I believe most of the most of the monsters we're seeing here are just straight up Pokemon. They're not even recolored. It's like the least you could do is make Pikachu blue, you know? Just couldn't do it. Couldn't bring themselves to do it. And apparently Link is going around catching all these Pokemon now. It's Breath of the Pokemon. But we're going to see a lot more of this over time now that we've seen Pal World get away with what they have. And so this appears to be another, like, testing the waters of, like, what will Nintendo sue us over here? What will Game Freak sue us over here? You know, what are we going to get into trouble for with this one? Because the big problem with doing this kind of stuff is that I've tried to do it. I've tried to make my own monster collector property. And the big problem is that there's not much left in how to do this. Pal World kind of like took the whole combating these things that people always wondered, like, what would Pokemon be like in a war scenario? And Pal World put that in there, gave Pokemon guns. And so, of course, like Digimon has their own attitude about where the monsters come from. Metabots is another monster collector, believe it or not. It's defined as another monster collector, Battle Shonen. And so there's just not a lot of room. And so these guys, I can see what they were trying to do, come up with something unique, but they said, fuck it, I'll just rip off Pokemon.
It is too hard. It's like, I mean, Pokemon got like, how many Pokemon are there at this point?
There's
serious.
1,000.
Like 1,000.
There is literally 1,000. Nerdigans was showing me. There's 1,000 Pokemon now.
Why?
Because
and like I said, you're
they
talking
couldn't
to a
help
guy.
themselves.
You're talking to a guy who stopped playing after Gold and Silver.
Same.
And now coming back to hearing that there's over 1,000 now.
Shooting that one in the dick. I didn't even see that. But there's over 1,000.
This one's called Bluetooth.
Well, that's what it is. Is that like Garbodor is just a pile of garbage. Like there's one that's just a jangling set of keys. It's literally a jangling set of keys toys in front of a baby. Another one's a wind chime. It's like another one's like a chandelier.
And
it's like they just ran
gets
out
to a
of
point,
monsters. You know?
That's what I was saying, because it gets to a point where even like something like this, like, you know, at Nintendo, after you come up with 1,000, someone at Nintendo is like stealing their notes. It just be like, oh, we can use that one for our next game. How many colors do we have left? Have we used magenta yet?
I believe on Steam there are no less than 5 different Monster Girl collector games where they just took the Pokemon and roughly changed their design and then turned them into anime girls. So there's like, I think there's at least 5 of them over there on Steam that do that already. Again, like the Monster Collector thing has been done to death. It was done to death before we were even old enough to drive, but it's done to death now for sure. It's another genre that's going to go the wayside, and this is another one that's proving that. Because they just copy and pasted it, meaning it's not unique. It's not unique anymore. You could just copy and paste this stuff. And that's ultimately what Pokemon's running into is 1,000 Pokemon demonstrate to you that they are flatly out of ideas to keep you entertained beyond throwing balls at things. You know, Pokemon Snap was great, and they just have no faith in Pokemon Snap. They don't have faith in the Pokemon RPGs. There was the dungeon... Pokemon Dungeon, whatever, where they were running around. What's that?
Oh, so you mean Monster Ranchers?
No, that was a completely different property. But Pokemon made a game where it was like an RPG where you played like a Charmander, and he was the protagonist in this RPG world where you were going around making friends and defeating something. But they dropped that. They ran away from that too. They just default back to, let's add another 100 Pokemon to this. What do we got? A trash bag with eyeballs? Okay, Garbodor. Welcome aboard. You're a Pokemon now. Welcome. The more I see this, the more I'm like, oh yeah, that's that Pokemon. That's that Pokemon. It's like the designs aren't even trying to look different.
No. I think that's kind of the point. It's like, it's just distinguishable enough for them to claim that it wasn't a direct ripoff.
Yeah, there was Monster Crown. Yeah, there's another one. Yeah, Monster Crown. Mystery Dungeon. Thank you, Josh. Mystery Dungeon was the one. And they just immediately dropped off of that. Like, they could have just gone in and been like, what if Pokemon, but Final Fantasy? I mean, there's plenty of it, and there's Pokemon that literally exist to like pull energy out of other creatures to heal themselves. That's a Phoenix Down if I ever saw one.
I'm about to say, isn't that basically called Kingdom Hearts? Like, didn't they already do that?
Well, yeah, I guess. But what I'm trying to get at, though, is that like Pokemon refuses to try and step away from the monster collector aspect of it. They want to go and like merge in and be. They want to stay in that like 1997 peak Pokemon era where like, yeah, we got to do monster guys. We got new starters. It's like when the starters came out for these ones, everyone was just sort of like, okay, I like the dog. And it's just a Pomeranian. It's literally just a Pomeranian. There's nothing special about it. It's just a dog.
Well, you know, the other problem that you have here is that, you know, I guess as far as the trading cards go, not as much as the video games that I'm worried about, but the trading cards, because the market for cards has been so ridiculously overinflated to an absurd degree. I'm pretty sure everyone has at least heard of the story in the last couple of months that Logan Paul sold a Pokemon card for like almost $10 million. And I hate to break this to you guys, there is no Pokemon card on Earth that is actually worth $10 million. That is blatant money laundering if I've ever seen it myself. But because of people like Logan Paul selling Pokemon cards for $10 million, people actually think that they can go out there and find like one of these cards that are going to be worth, millions upon millions of dollars. I mean, Tyler, you remember playing a little game called Card Shop Simulator? Remember when people was like, oh, this card has to be worth at least a couple of grand? Like, there's people out there who do that, so they'll go to Walmart, they'll raid Walmart thinking that they're going to get a monster hit out of those things, and that keeps the Pokemon business going. I mean, if the suckers think that they're going to, hit a strike gold, like one of these videos here, then it's like, well, why not? It's not like they're going to say anything about it. They're just going to like they're buying our shit. So just let them believe that.
No, stop it, guys, stop. I fucked up in the best possible way.
You've sparked my addiction to Pokemon cards. What's the best Pokemon sets to go with?
Wait! Oh no! This is not. Wait, what the fuck?
Yep.
This is not a god pack. This is not a god pack. I'm not holding a god pack, am I? Yep. Oh my god, it is! Oh my god, it's a god pack! Oh my god, I actually got a god pack! Oh my god! Oh, everyone relax! Everyone calm down! Everyone calm down!
You're the only one
It is
having
a
a
god
problem,
pack that I
Brian.
pulled incorrectly.
That is a big nut.
Ivysaur, Bulbasaur, War Turtle, Squirtle. Oh my god! Let's go!
So every once in a while, the card packers will, for whatever reason, stuff one single pack out of like 1,000 boxes full of the most valuable cards that they have, and for whatever reason they do that. But that's apparently it's like a golden ticket, the Wonka golden ticket. It's very rare, but that's Terrorizer pulled that, I don't know, like a couple months ago or something. And that's what chiefly drives a lot of this is the same gotcha stuff that like Genshin Impact functions on, is the unknown of what you're going to get. So there was Nogla was explaining like he doesn't know what to do with all the bulk, is what they call it, all the useless cards, the ones that aren't like super expensive. And so he went to, well, that's basically what the guy at the store told him. He's like, you could donate them to kids and just throw them out, like nobody cares. And that's the side effect of this, is like hundreds of thousands of tons of regular old Pokemon cards are just being hucked into the trash after spending 2 seconds out of their package. Yeah. And that's the big problem with all this is it's creating a shit ton of useless waste in all of this. And it's completely turned the trading card aspect of it out. Like, nobody's paying $10 million so they can slap that card down during a match. They're going to put it in, like, a glass case up on a shelf, and that'll be the last time until that guy dies that thing feels oxygen. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things where this whole market has just been completely obliterated entirely. The experience of playing Pokemon has now been so corporatized to the point where it's just not worth it. One of the things that was funny to me is that I was helping a libertarian run for office during the Pokemon Go days. Mm-hmm. And we were at a pizza party that was celebrating the legalization of recreational marijuana in Maine, as you do. Apparently, you just get together, have a pizza party. So people are out in the street and they're talking, they're on the sidewalk, stuff like that. A guy rolls up and he slows down and he's got his window down. And we're like, hey, man, we just legalized marijuana here in the state. Come on in, have some pizza. He says, no, man, I just wanted to know if this is where the Raichu was. And I was like, you're driving around in your car trying to catch Pokemon. And not only that, you've turned down pizza and weed to chase after a Raichu.
Well, yeah, I've told you guys a story a few times on this show about the guy in San Diego who literally fell off of a cliff at a beach and died trying to catch an exclusive Pokemon in Pokemon Go. It's like, I don't know how you get so amped by a Pokemon Go game that you literally walk off of a 30-foot cliff and die. You kind of think that you would see it at some point, right?
It's like Richard says here, like he's got cards from long ago, they're still in their packages. No, they're pretty valuable. Yu-Gi-Oh's creator died, And Yu-Gi-Oh, I don't think it's on a resurgence, but the nostalgia is pretty high with Yu-Gi-Oh, because again, it was another one that really captured young guys in the early 2000s. So millennials obviously want to get a hold of that stuff. And, you know, there's people that pay big money to get a hold of those original Pokemon packs that haven't been opened.
Yeah.
They'll pay like $500 for that stuff. So if you still got your cards and they aren't beat all the fuck inside of their packages, put it up on eBay for $500. You'd probably be surprised how many people are gonna be like, "Whoa, a 2002 unopened Yu-Gi-Oh card pack! Oh my gosh, that would get me so much views on Twitch." And they'll pay you like $500 of their dad's money to get it. You know?
I mean, not only that, I got a guy who's probably sitting on God knows how much baseball cards, but they're not like just run-in-the-mill baseball cards. Like, this is baseball cards that his grandfather gave him from like the 50s and the 60s and like going like way back in the day. It's like, I would have to think that a large cachet of those type of cards has to be worth some kind of coin, just from the sheer value that they're almost 100 years old and probably are still in pretty legit condition. But it's like, yeah, no, I'll just, you know, see how much they're worth one day, you know, when I'm not feeling lazy about it. And there's a lot of people who are probably sitting on gold mines right now and are completely oblivious to it.
Oh, 100%. 100%. So let me show you this right here, okay? So if you don't know, the girl up in the corner is Pasta. For whatever reason, she didn't have her VTuber on. And, you know, it's just bear with that.
If you've watched her long enough, you remember her face before she went full VTuber. So
yeah, I haven't.
Ninkata.
Lord.
Oh, there's Lily's determination. So that's who Tyler.
Yeah, there's an SIR of that
okay,
card. If
all
you
right.
get it, you have to give it to me.
Okay. Okay. Is it Pyongyang?
Pyongyang.
Feels like
That
Pyongyang.
North Korean city.
Yeah. Just
And not the parts that they prop up.
Oh! No way!
There's
Oh my god!
Yes!
It's like the only card I really want from the set, and you fucking pulled it.
Oh yeah, dude.
For my daughter, Brian, not for me, all right? Not for me, okay? I'm collecting Lily cards.
How
okay?
much do you love her?
Whatever the, I guess I'll eBay market price. I'll buy it from someone else.
I'll buy it from someone else. You?
I'll just rob you. No, like,
The whole Vanos crew outside of Vanos has become obsessed with this. Like, here's Panda.
Vanos is like, I make way too much money for this.
Pretty much. He's off making music, and they're like, I'm going to open Pokemon cards.
They used to do like this really nice little pin dot art for the Team Rocket ones.
Oh
You guys
yeah, I
can
know what you're
see
talking
it.
about. I think it's called pointillism or something like that.
That's the Risharam I'm talking about, baby! Woo!
That's your.
I don't even know what the hell that is, by the way. I have no clue what that monster is. That looks like a Digimon.
Number one best card.
Do people even actually play the Pokemon game anymore,
No.
or has it just become like a gambling addiction at this point?
Just like
It's like-
Sakurita says, they go into bankruptcy like Disney.
Well, this is the thing. Like, you know, all the Vanos crew, like, they got money, so they can afford to play like this little game. But you know, like, some poor Jimmy Joe out there is, like I said, running to Walmart and spending their entire life savings, thinking that they're gonna pull out one of these cards and then sell it online for like $100,000 or something like that, and that's gonna be their ticket out of poverty.
Yep. That's what they see the videos just like this.
Though, right?
That's the one I've been talking about. That's the one
Oh,
I
yeah.
wanted. Is it in this set, the Whale Lord that you want? Is it in
Yeah,
this
it is
one?
in this one.
So there's a
Yep.
Whale Lord that Anthony really wants. So
It is so cool.
if we pull it in a video, that would be great. Just to hit the one.
Boom. It's a penis.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a big blue whale penis right there.
Literal sperm whale did Pokemon.
Why would you draw it like that?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you draw it like that?
And this is the thing that just kills me personally, because it's like they're trying very hard to make it seem like this is not like basically bullshit pro wrestling. It's like, oh no, I totally pulled this card live on stream, and this is my real reaction.
Well, look, okay, we'll finish this one, but there's one with Nogla, all right? Now, you know he doesn't know how to fake shit.
Yeah.
Hey, it kind of looks like that, guys.
You gotta be
This guy
kidding
pulled
me.
his favorite card and my favorite card.
Bro, that took my breath away. They used to...
Yeah, you found a big blue whale penis. It would take your breath away, too, you know? But, Here's Nogla doing it, okay? And we know he doesn't have the competency to fake it.
No.
Ooh,
It
sign
is.
up. Oh, that's a holographic first edition Dragonite.
Just see how he's like, how about that?
It's like, oh, isn't that neat?
Meanwhile, it's a $5,000 card, apparently.
Yeah.
So
And
that's,
he's actually playing from like the old school Pokemon card deck, because like those are the cards that they actually looked like when I had them, like
Yeah.
almost 30 years ago now.
when they weren't like these crazy, I don't even know how to describe them anymore, but this is another one. Like, so I don't like these videos particularly because they're just sitting there opening cards, and I just like the conversation that they have in between freaking out about the cards because it's like a podcast at that point.
Yeah.
But I happen to catch these streams when they're just sitting there shooting the shit opening cards, and this happened. This actually was real. Nogla did not switch anything out. Watch this.
Last pack, guys, a Hidden Fates. Oh no, this is not great, guys. I completely changed my mind. Because just when you think things are bad, they can. What? No, this isn't real life. You're actually lying to me.
So there you go. And that's the thing, is that people see videos like this and they go, oh, I can go get $4,000 if I just raid the Walmart display of Pokemon cards.
That's why you literally see videos of grown men going up to the card display at their Walmart where little like 6-year-old girls are trying to get their Pokemon cards. He's just picking up the entire rack, throwing it in his basket, and be like, I'm sorry, kid, I'm here to do business.
Get fucked, Junior. Mm-hmm. You know, this is the big man's world now.
Get your weight up, scrub.
Yeah, and that's, you know, there's Pokemon card vending machines now. Did you know this?
So it's like the entire economy of Japan basically just revolves around Pokemon cards.
No, it's here.
That's how they-
It's here in the USA. Here it is. This is real.
I just came across Pokemon Gold out in the wild. I found a real Pokemon Center vending machine at my local Winco late at night.
It's all in English. You see that? It's here in the USA.
Went up to it, and surprisingly, there was a lot in stock. I guess with their new system, they only allow certain people to purchase certain things at each time. For me, the best item there was a Journey Together booster box, and not just any booster box, the enhanced version. It was $161 after tax.
So you just $174 into a vending machine.
Yeah.
You don't even get a thank you for your purchase from a human being. You get a flash of text and Pikachu shows you his ass. It's amazing.
Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. Oh, I'm sorry. That's all I heard when
Yeah,
the
right.
entire ballad.
Don't know if this is a Japanese thing or not. I don't actually run into Japanese people that like Pokemon, but that's just me. Well, I'm sure they like it, but they don't have a rabid obsession with it. There are certain people who do in Japan, and I'm sure the card market is ferocious over there. I've heard that rarity matters more than being cool. So like a card that's just a poison, a special type of poison that was only printed 50 million times as opposed to a gorillion times. Yeah. That's important to the Japanese. They don't really care about holographic cards unless they're very rare holographic cards. It doesn't matter to them. Over here, we're, ooh, shiny. I'm going to spend my life savings on that. And that's how we do it. That's why it's such a big market over here, is there's so many people with just so much liquid cash that they just toss at this for no reason. Like, I want a gold Charizard card. Sure, I'll take out a third mortgage to get it. No wonder they don't care about making quality games. The cars pay all them bills. Yeah, well, now they have a theme park. There's a live action. There's a real life Pokemon park we just walk through. There's like statues of Pokemon all over the place, but it's meant to simulate one of the Pokemon towns. And yeah, you just go there in Japan now. But, you know, again, the Pokemon franchise is no longer about the games. It's not about kids. It's not even really about the Pokemon themselves anymore. It is just
the very best.
It's about making money off of selling cards that you know, scalped out from under children. Okay, that's what it is. And Digimon's turn is coming up. So if you've got any weirdo Digimon cards, congratulations. You're probably going to be able to sell them on eBay for enough money to buy a new car at this point. Because people just want to do this for some reason. I don't really know if it's going to like carry over into the other millennial properties like Garbage Pail Kids and things like that. But the Monster Wars, the Mon Wars as they were known as, really drew in a lot of American kids. So I can see the same kind of effect that Pokemon's having just erupting in Digimon in a couple of years, because for whatever reason people wake up to the fact that Digimon has all of this card stuff too. Maybe they're not making new Digimon cards, I don't know. But eventually it'll come around where these people are waking up to that, and they're going to go and get those Digimon cards and create this new market, because the Pokemon card market is just so stuffed full. Like, it's so bad Quartering is going out there and opening Pokemon cards. Unsleeved media.
Is that where the money is now?
Well, if he's doing it, yeah. So I really hate how YouTube has like this autoplay stuff.
You could have just said I hate YouTube and whatever.
Yeah, that's probably pretty fair. But so as you can see here, the Quartering, he's not having a great time. He's blurred that out in order to show people. But yeah, so he's gotten into this now. So he sits there and he's made a new channel where he just sits there and opens up Pokemon cards. He apparently spent $5,000 on this equipment here to do all this. And what was funny is that when the Kino Casino
on the boxes or
was
just
talking about
the actual like set equipment?
on all the cards, just the cards, $5,000 on the cards alone. Okay. And these are all packs that supposedly haven't been opened. What the Kino Casino found is he went through 2 boxes. Now, this is roughly about 200 cards, and didn't find a single one that was worth anything. So they think he bought $5,000 worth of resealed packs that are just full of shit. They're not filled with anything because all of it's been taken out that was worth anything. But that's what you're dealing with now. Is you've got this whole.
You got Poke scammers.
Well, there's a whole sort of like when you remember when we were talking about all the McDonald's meals that were being strewn about Japan because of the limited time McDonald's Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that kind of frenzy that has happened here. Is that if Quartering's into it, that means that there's money to it because he doesn't go where there isn't money. And not that he's a smart, savvy businessman, don't get me wrong, but he's one of those guys that he sees other people doing it and being successful at it. He needs to do it and be successful at it too. And that's what he's done it. And a lot of these collectors aren't really collectors. They're just resellers. And he's another one. He's just going through here and finding the cards that are expensive and throwing away everything else. Now, again, you can have your opinion about if you think that's smart or if that's good or if that's wise. It doesn't really matter to me. But on the other end, what I have a problem with is that this guy's almost 50. And this is what he's chosen to do with his life, is to try and resell Pokemon cards.
Well, here's the problem. When you become a full-time YouTuber, it's not like you can just go back into the real world at that point. So unless you want to go back and find a real job at an office or whatever the case may be, it's like, I guess I'm just going to open up Pokemon cards now on a Wednesday.
I start a new channel to do it, apparently. Yeah, I don't know.
It's not like I'm going to go back to mortgage this time.
Digimon's not way older than Pokemon. It came out roughly the same time.
Digimon thing came out like maybe a year after Pokemon did. Pokemon I think was like 97, 96, somewhere around there. So it was like
Something
maybe like
like
a year or two afterwards. But it was only by a difference of a couple of years. Now, Digimon's problem was that Pokemon was basically white hot the second it came out, and then they came out with another show that had a Mon attached to it, and it was like, oh, so like Pokemon, and then it never got past that. It never got past that.
Well, and so Digimon's big problem is they wanted to have like some grand, meaningful adventure, whereas Pokemon was like, what about dog fighting? Wouldn't that be fun? And that was really where Digimon kind of hit the skids, is that the adventures, even in the games, they weren't really fun. They were trying to have like a a deep conversation to you about existence and existentialism, whereas Pokemon's like, haha, that Slowpoke has another Pokemon's tail, has its tail in a Pokemon's mouth, and now I can speak English. And that was the end of it. Oh yeah, there's birds, they're legendary birds. They don't matter anymore. Fuck them, they don't matter anymore. There's one that travels through time now.
Remember legendaries? Remember when they were
Yeah, I remember when that mattered. But yeah, this is the Pokemon that I remember.
Oh yeah, remember. So this is as far back as I remember the Pokemon. This was literally the final hurrah for me. Know how long it took for me to realize that, wait, that's not Ash? It's like, no, it's not. But it looks just like him.
Oh no! The sex pest Typhlosion.
Sex pest.
It's red.
Yep. He's like Ash, except for he actually wins. Not like Ash, who has to like wait 30 years to finally get a victory worth giving a fuck about.
Single victory.
Single, yeah.
You know, all he gets out of it is like some mustache stubble. That's it. He's like 15 years old after 30 years.
Yeah.
Way back.
It's literally, it's like the equivalent of like John Elway winning his first Super Bowl in like his last year in the league.
It must have been so bizarre for parents to just watch this. Like, there's just graphics overlaid another character, and then it fell over. What do you mean you won? You know, there's nothing really combat oriented happening here.
And then after you win this battle, he never appears again in the rest of the game. So then afterwards, just like, yeah, you just go and, I don't know, fight the bug catcher on Route 12 for the rest of the game until you catch all the other Pokemon you can catch. Nerd.
Yeah, Lugia was impossible to catch. You had to have like 7 Master Balls to get it.
Well, you had to catch him in like a certain time of the day, which is the only time he actually came out. And then you had to try your damnedest not to kill it, because if you killed it, then it's gone forever and you can't get it back.
Like Ho-Oh. That was the other one that was a pain in the ass. Yeah. Of course. But yeah, that was back in the day. You seen the Lantern trailer? It'd be a part Tropic for Power Rangers, because that all the normies want while gatekeeping actual fans. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It looked like a Seth Black movie to me. So I just kind of, I don't know, not interested. All right, the 8-bit music is getting to me.
Is this bringing back repressed memories of having your little handheld on 2 AA batteries that are actively dying?
Yeah, well, the other thing is I turned the volume down on all that, because like the alarm thing was just like, it gave me a headache. So I would turn it off. I would turn the volume way down, so the only way I would know they were dying is if I could barely hear the alarm. But it's just one of those things. A lot of people like that 8-bit music, but it gets it gets on my nerves after a little while. But I can't imagine being a father coming home from work and having to listen to that for 6 hours, right? Like, my
Going to your son's room and all you hear is boom, 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 boom.
Oh my. That must have been just amazing for a guy that just came home from the steel mill, you know?
Took everything in his willpower not to end it all.
Yeah, right. Just to grab the thing and snap it in half. Like, whoops, looks like you're gonna have to go outside and meet a girl now.
And that's
it. But as far as the Lanterns trailer goes, I thought it was incredibly piss poor. I was not impressed with it whatsoever. I don't know anybody that really was like chomping at the bit. I know people that were trying to make like excuses for it, like saying like, "Oh no, this is just a slow burn to get everybody interested in the topic, and then they're gonna show you all the cool stuff. This is just one of those like teaser trailer things." And I'm trying to find where I made a post. There it is. So there, bring that up. But yeah, it says, I know Hal Jordan used to be a Han Solo rogue kind of guy, and I know Jon Stewart to be a by the books, rules and honor focused kind of guy. Why am I seeing a grumpy, jaded old man and a bored, self-righteous intern on a buddy cop road trip in a knockoff Shane Black film? And that's what this looks like. From every angle, it just looks like Shane Black's attempt to show like a buddy cop. Huh? Huh?
Because James Gunn.
Yeah, because James Gunn. Yeah, exactly. Well, again, like I don't even think he's producing this. I think he's just the studio head associated with this. But it's like, it's just bleeding over with all of these stupid wokeisms and all of this. Oh yeah, the white guy is old and he's out of touch and he's dumb and he's cocksure, and the black guy just knows where everything's going. He's the magical black guy. Remember that? Remember that trope, Jacob? The magical black guy that never does anything wrong and has all the correct answers. Welcome to Jon Stewart, who's just now becoming a Green Lantern. He's like, I'm going to teach Hal Jordan a lesson. It's like, yeah, okay. People are like, well, they were like this in the comics. Well, great. That was 70 fucking years ago. Yeah. Since then, the Justice League cartoon came out and redefined both of these characters. The animated DC universe came out and redefined both of these characters. Even Injustice gave us a clearer picture of who the hell Hal Jordan is in the 21st century. I don't give two flying shits what he was up to with Green Arrow way back in the 70s. I'm sorry. I get it. It was very important for somebody somewhere, but I just don't care. And that's where I think a lot of this disconnect is coming from, is like James Gunn was like, yeah, I read Superman comics when I was a kid. That was the 70s and the 80s, dude. No wonder that movie just feels so disjointed and up its own ass, because you're trying to tell 80s Superman with a 2010 veneer on it, and it's just retarded when you do that. Now, this is the same problem. They were like, Taylor Sheridan's pretty popular with his stuff. Let's just put the Green Lanterns in a Taylor Sheridan show. And there you go. I was told that this is also, what is this? It was down here. Where did it go? The Brown Lanterns, yeah. But this is Watchmenitis, was one of those ones. But it's True Detective. Yeah, it's True Detective Green Lantern edition is what this was. And, because like, so this is the main antagonist, by the way, are just MAGA voters. That's the bad guys of the MAGA voters, because that's just new and revolutionary, and they fire guns. What's never been clear to me about this whole thing is, why the fuck are the Green Lanterns even aware of this happening? They are literally, by definition, space police. Why the fuck do they care what is happening in Bodunk Cornfield, Iowa? Why the hell do they care about any of that? Because the writers don't give a shit about sci-fi. Because the writers don't give a shit about space. They give a shit about teaching those MAGA voters that they're wrong. So they're going to make the Green Lanterns paddle their backsides to teach them that they're the bad guys and they're on the wrong side of history.
So we're
sorry.
No. We're a few years into this whole, I guess, realization of the James Gunn DC universe. Is anyone actually happy with what they've received over the course of, how long has it been now? About 5 years? Is anyone really truly excited about the direction? All the things that were promised for all the years until they started getting realized, and now that they have been realize that this is it?
Well, and again, like, what are you trying to say by taking the Green Lanterns out of space and putting them on Earth? Now, I got it. A lot of Green Lanterns adventures happened on Earth because, Earth things were happening. But you have the technology now where you don't need to worry about that. You don't need to repeat Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern, and you don't need to do whatever Zack Snyder was going to do with the Green Lantern. Instead, you just have Hal and John go out to the edge of the universe and kick some alien ass on some planet we can't pronounce, and people will love it.
Yeah.
Just take Lethal Weapon and put it on another planet. And let them go to town, kicking ass, taking names with Green Lantern rings, and people will love it. They don't need a I'm learning something arc. They don't need an arc where they come to terms with their abuse from their father or whatever. They don't need to be alcoholics. They don't need to be sex abusers. They only need to use their Green Lantern rings to blow shit up. And for some reason, we can't get that. We absolutely cannot get that. You have to go to AI in order to have anything resembling what you'd actually want from a Green Lantern series. Even the guy running this, Lucas, what's his face? He admitted that. Did somebody post that? I think somebody replied to that with that here. Where is it? Lindelof. There it is. Here, listen to this. This is infuriating.
So, you just announced a Green Lantern show. It's called Lanterns because we all agreed that the green was stupid. So,
how about that? Why is it stupid? Why? Because you think it is? Is that what it is? See, that's the hard part about this, is that people who don't like the genre are given the master control of it. And what they find is they are absolutely repulsed by the core identity of the Green Lantern. Now, why is he called the Green Lantern? Because he's fucking green. That's it. That's all it needs to be. You can even have a guy say that, just like that. You could have one of the Guardians say it like that if you want to. It would be stupid, but you could do that. There's no reason to strip the green out of it, unless you're ashamed and embarrassed by what the true identity of that hero is. And here we are, back around to the same problem with DC again. We're not going to put the hero in the suit until the very last episode for 10 fucking seconds.
right. So now it's just lanterns.
So, Green Lantern, the lantern. So you can make anything you can imagine.
That if you have this magical ring,
Right.
Yes.
And the fights are still close.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Like, it's a superhero universe.
Well, like I said, it's a bunch of people who got hired because they know nothing about this, because they were hired by people who sole intention was to deconstruct and tear down what was already established, because like most parasites, it only wants to destroy. It's not like it's actually helping the host. It's only there to tear it down. And we've essentially been dealing with cultural parasites now for at least a decade. You can argue a little bit more than that, maybe even a lot more than that. But certainly the last 10 years is where all of these ugly fruits have kind of, have grown.
Manifested.
Yeah, exactly.
Josh says, no, because the Green Lanterns are the good guys and the Yellow and Red Lanterns are evil. We can't have good versus evil, so lanterns. Right, everybody's a lantern. Sinestro's a lantern. Because we can't say Yellow Lantern Corps because they'll be the Fear Lanterns, because that sounds less dumb. And again, like it compounds when you start being embarrassed by all this, because they're not going to have Space Hitler do anything other than be Space Hitler. That's what he's going to do. He's going to be Space Hitler. They're not going to have Atrocitus probably show up at all, because he's just going to be a CGI monstrosity that pukes blood all over the place. So he's obviously not going to be featured in the show unless he's possessing somebody somehow, because he can do that in this show because it's fucking fan fiction. But that's where you're at. You're at this now where people like these smug assholes you're looking at right here are absolutely embarrassed by the content they have been hired to create. I don't know about you, but I'm not going to hire somebody who is embarrassed of the content I want them to work on. That kind of feels counterintuitive. It feels like they're not going to bring in new people. They're just going to piss off the people who are already here.
Yeah, we're literally going to burn the audience that we have left. But like I said, we've covered this for a number of years. The whole I didn't read the comic books. Yeah, they go out of their way to hire people who don't know anything about it, because they don't want anyone to actually stay true to the source material that they're writing on. And this is essentially what we get here. It's like, and then they don't even have the balls to at least say, hey, look, we know this isn't canon, but this is our own interpretation. It's like, this is our own thing. At least least by doing something like that, you're kind of acknowledging it's like, this is not typically what the character would do, but we're trying something new, we're doing something different. At least there's an acknowledgement that, hey, this is different than what you've been accustomed to. They just go out there and produce a corporatized slop and then tell you this is what our canon is now. If you don't like it, you must be one of these insert things here.
So unless a Red Lantern has enough energy to have hope, what's the alien name who have both red and blue rings? Oh, that was that guy from the cartoon, from the Hal Jordan and the Green Lanterns cartoon or something like that. But yeah, again, like this is one of those things that like, well, Richard says their colors have nothing to do with them besides their mood. Yeah, no, that's what I'm trying to say is that like the mood, it's not that, it's that the emotion that they draw on to manifest, that's what matters to them, the most powerful emotion in them. That's why Superman is hope and why Flash is hope and, you know, that sort of thing. And so, and Wonder Woman is love, even though she's not a pink lantern, because the pink lanterns are, you know, kind of nuts. But that's kind of. But anyway, that's all that. That's the show tonight. We talked about Resident Evil. We talked about Pocket Man. We talked about all of the Green Lantern problems. We talked about all the sucky things. And we talked about some nice things. And we talked about Pokemon card addiction. So, a lot happened.
So, go out and play PS2 Resident Evil games, because those were the best. Don't spend your life savings on Pokemon. And if you are going to rip off Pokemon, at least make it very, very entertaining when you do so.
Right.
Make that Nintendo lawsuit worth it, baby.
Because you're definitely going to get one. That's going around these days. But, yeah, let's just end the show.
Robo Logic.